Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Vanessa. Today I have a complete clean and declutter video for you of my daughter's nursery. I know that with the seasons changing, we all kind of need to get this done because I especially need to move out all of her warm weather clothing, all of her summer clothes, and get it all out and make room for all of her winter and fall clothing. We do live in Utah, and in Utah, when it comes time for the cold weather, it is cold. We have recently been in the 50s, and today it got down to the 30s, and it was super windy, freezing, and it even snowed a little bit. So I do not anticipate any more warm weather for the rest of the year. So I figured I better take the time to get this done. I started off by quickly cleaning up the closet, and then once that was finished, I went through every single piece of clothing just to make sure that she was no longer going to be able to wear it because I wouldn't be able to put a long sleeve underneath or have her wear it with tights, or that it was just too small and she can no longer use it. So anything that fell under those categories, I took off the hangers and stuck in a pile so that I could go through later and check and see what I wanted to keep and save and what I was going to donate. My husband and I are planning on having another baby in the future, so I do want to save some of her nice pieces of clothing that have been gently worn, just in case we do have another baby girl. Elena does have quite a bit of clothing that I like to put off to the side in her closet that she just does not quite fit into yet because it's just too big, but I like to have it apart from all of the rest of her clothes just so that I can see it and it's readily available for when she does fit into them. Next up, I moved on to her drawers. Elena does have quite a few onesies, and all of her pajamas are all in her drawers as well as her bottoms. So I do like to go through these periodically as well, just to make sure that I don't have anything in there that she just does not fit into any longer. With Elena, it's a little tricky because she is just a tiny little thing. She will be 18 months at the end of October, and my daughter still fits into 9-month onesies. There are a few that she does not fit into anymore, so I did pull all those out, but in there I have 9-month and 12-month onesies that she still fits into. So it's really hard to kind of gauge and figure out what she's going to fit into, what she's not going to fit into, especially when it comes to buying new clothes for her. I went into Target when they came out with all of their fall clothing for toddlers, and I went to see what I could get for her, and I came back with a whole bunch of 18-month clothing, just thinking that she would probably fit into them by the time she needed to use them, and I was totally wrong. 18-month is still pretty big on her, so it's really hard to figure out what she'll wear 2 to 3 months from now because she can fit into clothes for months and months and months, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere she just no longer fits into them. As I was clearing up space in her drawers and closet, it reminded me that I did have a load of Elena's laundry in the dryer that I needed to fold and put away. So I got that finished. This took me 20 minutes. I feel like that is such a long time to be sitting there just folding laundry and getting it put away. It is so time consuming and it's just so boring. I really hate folding laundry because it just takes way too long. If only there was a time-lapse button in real life to get laundry folded this fast, that would be so amazing. I do watch quite a few different YouTubers, and I have noticed that the majority of them like to fold laundry in the living room while they're watching YouTube or catching up on some series or something like that. But I am not one to do that. I hate bringing my clothes into the living room. I just feel like I would get too lazy to put everything away and having to take everything in its room where it belongs in. I would much rather just take my laundry and fold it in the room where it belongs, and then it's just quickly being put away as I go. I don't know, am I the only one that does this? I feel like I've just noticed that so many like to do it in the living room, but I mean, I can't be the only one that does it in the room where it belongs in. I'm really curious to know. Let me know what you guys do. The last thing I had time to do this evening was just switch out Elena's crib sheet because it was getting time to do her nighttime routine. So I just wanted to get a new crib sheet all ready for her, and then that is where I finished for the evening, and then I just started up the next day. The next day I had all of this clothes that I needed to go through, so I went to Walmart and I bought these bins, and these bins, they come in a pack of 2, and I think they're less than $8. So it's a pretty good deal, and I like to use these so I can just separate Elena's clothing. I tried to do like summer clothes in one and then just like miscellaneous in another. I really have no rhyme or reason into the way that I pack these up, and I know I'm gonna regret that if I do have to go through this in the future, but for now this is just what I do. And anything that I choose not to keep, that I decide on donating, I just stick into one of those big grocery bags. The one I have right now is from Hobby Lobby. I always like to keep those, like for example, Kohl's gives them out. I mean, I feel like every store gives out the big grocery bags. And so I like to keep those for this reason, because I donate things all the time. I really do not like clutter. So I do clear stuff up all the time, so that is what I keep them for, and then I just stick that in the back of my car and drop it off at the Goodwill.
I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down, feel alive.
Finally, once all the decluttering was finished, I was able to get started on actually cleaning up her room. I like to start off by just cleaning up her little side table, wiping down the lamp, and then moving everything off the floor so that I can vacuum. Elena's room is pretty small, so it doesn't take a lot to it, and it's pretty easy to clean. The majority of my time was just spent decluttering. Since I was already in the cleaning mode, I decided to go through and wipe down her baseboards in her room since they do tend to get dusty, and then I just went on and emptied her trash. Finally, I sprayed the room with the Mrs. Meyer's peony scent, and I feel like that's just a nice touch to a clean room. And once I finished with that, I was able to put everything back down on the floor, and then I just fluffed up her rug a bit just to make it look a little bit nicer.
It's just what I do.
And that is all that I have for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.